Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we have an interesting one. I don't think this is like a very first time a puzzle has this type of condition, but it's one that I've not seen before, and I don't believe I've tried before. If I hadn't seen it, I probably hadn't tried it either, right? So anyway, let's look at this thing and see what's going on first off. So it's called Hit the Slopes by Matt Tressel. Now it's got normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 region contains the digits 1 through 9 once each. We also have what are called little killer quads. So the sum of digits along an indicated diagonal arrow must appear in at least one of the remaining 3 cells surrounding the cell from which the arrow originates. The total value of the sum must be contained within a single cell. If a circle has more than one arrow, each diagonal could be a unique sum or the same sum. Okay, so what the heck does all that mean? Well, let's take a look at that. Let's look at this guy. It has an arrow that's pointing this way, which means that the value of what this quad would be is the addition of all of these digits, whatever they may be. And that's going to create a value for this guy. And now it says that that value must appear in at least one of the remaining 3 cells surrounding the circle. So since it's going this way, one of these these cells must be whatever that value of the diagonal is. And it notes that the total sum of the sum must be contained with a single cell. So it can't be 2 digits that you add together to be able to equal that value. It's just a single cell. And then if you look at, let's say this one here, it looks at the 2 different, or 2 possibilities of 2 different values. So whatever this one is, its value can be located in one of these 3. Whatever value this has can be located in one of these 3. And it says they do not necessarily have to be the same value, but they could. So that's something we'll have to figure out as we go along. So with that said, the link will be in the description below, as always. And if you want to play along, go ahead and do so. And let's get started. See if we can figure this thing out. So the question is going to be, where do we start? And that's always the question. And I would have to think that we're going to need to look at some of these longer arrow distances. In fact, maybe this one will be the best one because it seems to incorporate another arrow into its portion of the value. That seems like a good place to start. So let's look at it. What would be the bare minimum we could ever put in these little killer quad cells here? Well, it would be 1, 2, which is 3. 1 plus is 4, plus another 3 is 7, plus 1 would be 8. So this guy, wherever its index, I'll call it an index, I guess that's kind of the best way for me to think about it, is that the index for this little quad is going to be in one of these guys. It's going to have to at least be 8. Now, if this has to at least be 8, it can only vary by one value. So if we were to put our bare minimums in, we can add one more to all of them as possibilities. So therefore, this could be a 1, 3, this could be a 2, this could be a 1, 3, or this could be a 2, but only one of those can have that extra bit of value. Otherwise, it would break the puzzle. I'm guessing this will be the same concept. We're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 again. So these are going to be exactly the same. 1, 2, and for those, and this is a 1, 2, 3. So we end up with a 1, 2, 3 triple, actually. So is there anything that I think what we're gonna end? Oh, we have a 1, 2 pair I didn't even see here, which would be interesting. I'm wondering if we continue to take some of these larger little killer quads and flush them out, that we might get a bunch of crisscrossing ones, twos, and threes, but I guess we'll have to take a look and see if that's the case. What's another halfway decent sized one? Probably this one. And this one looks interesting as well because we could think about bare minimums. And we can start off by saying we already have a 1-2 pair. So the bare minimum here is actually 3. Then we get the 1-2. Then we get a possibility of 1. Now that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 we're starting at. That's not as good here, although it is an increase in what, or a decrease, I should say, in what the possibilities of this thing could possibly be. But since it's a 7 at the moment as its minimum, we can still add 2 more digits to each of these. So let's do that. And we'll continue to kind of monitor the possibilities of triples and doubles, which we do get a triple here. I think at the end of the day, what we want to try to figure out is where do we have triple like this that's going to interact with the quadruple, like this guy here. It cannot be 1, 2, or 3 because we have a triple, so the bare minimum here is looking at 4. And as we get away from that at the moment, because we probably don't have enough of these finally sorted out, we're going to get into possibility of a 1 here. Well, we do actually have the 1, 2 actually looking at this one here as well, so this could be a minimum of 3. So now we're at 8. So this is another one of the instances where we only have 1 digit of movement, so we can add those in. And we get a 1-2 pair now in this region, which is interesting. Now we can also say that this digit here is going to be the index for this guy. So we said we were at 8 already. So this guy has to be either 8 or 9. Because this could very well be 9. We don't know. So this is the options that we have right here at the moment. What else do we have that is being reduced in option? I guess as well, we know the bare minimum here is 3, but there's very little to work with. Well, actually, I look at this now. I would be correct in saying that these two have to be the same digit, don't they? Because this is going to be a value of whatever this is. But its value must be indexed in one of the 3 remaining digits, or cells here, not digits. And this one sees both of these, so these must be the same. Let's do blue, I guess, to designate that these are same digit. We just don't know what it is yet. Okay. What else do we have here? These guys don't really seem like they're doing a whole lot at the moment. Next biggest one, I guess, is here. Although there's very little restricting this one at the moment. Because we're looking at, again, a bare minimum of 1, 2, and a 1. There's nothing cutting across here or here or here or here that says any of these have to be higher than what the bare minimums are currently. What about this guy? We didn't really look at it. We looked at this full one, but we didn't process what this is doing. So even though we can say these are the minimum digits because this guy controls it, it just means that one of these two is going to be whatever this index is. Because this could be 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1. So we're looking at a 5 or a 6 in one of these two digits. I don't want to put that in because this is kind of cross-border markations, which I don't like to do unless it becomes useful at some point. So what do we have left here that we can work with? This guy is tiny. So it would be, well, no, I guess there's too much overlay here where we can't necessarily say you have to have a 1. Is that accurate to say? This were a 2, 3, that's 5, plus a 3 is 8. So we could have, yeah, these don't necessarily have to have a 1 in them. I guess if we look at these guys, we know these have to have 1s. Because they have to be a pairing. It's either of 1, 2, or 1, 3. You can't ever do a 2, 3, because then you would be increasing this value by 2. So if these have to be 1s, this can't be a 1. Now, doesn't that get us to our maximum? Looking at, no, it doesn't, because this could be the 1 in that, and this would be the 2. Okay, that's close. It's getting us somewhere, I think. Or it's at least a start. What about, yeah, because these two are going to be the same. One of these has to be a 1. Because we can't do a 2, 3 pair here, because it'll break this guy up here. Well, it gives us an X-wing up here, but we already knew where the 1 was here. I guess it gives us an X-wing over here as well, too. So this can't be a 1. Because no matter where you put the 1s in either of these two situations, you're going to see this one with the 1. So that's going to reduce the possibilities of this one. How far does it do so? Now I think we are required to have a 1 in here, because we've removed the option of having that 1 down here. So if we don't have a 1 here, the bare minimum is 2 or 3, which is 5, plus 3 is 8, and this would have to be a 2, which is 10, so that doesn't work. So yes, we have to have a 1 here. And that 1 is going to create an X-wing here. So therefore this can't be a 1. It is 2, and this is a 1. Now, if this is a 2, we've just used up our extra digit. So everything else must be minimum. Ooh, I don't know that that's minimum. I just know that it can't be a 3. This is a 1. And then I guess these are going to seed around. This 2 is probably going to make this, excuse me, line be at maximum. This can't be 2. This can't be 1. So therefore this has to be 1. We still don't know if this is at minimum yet or not. This can't be a 2. Now this 2 means this is a 1. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a minimum of, oh, well, this can't be a 1, obviously. So this is, now we are maxed out. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has to be a 2. And now this thing has to index to a 9. But the 9 could go in any of these locations. So let's look back here, because I think we said this was going to be maxed, right? Yeah, because 4 is the minimum, 3 is the minimum, 7 plus 2, that's 9. So this is 4 and 3. That forces this to be the 9, because this is what we said was indexing this. So this is 9. This 2 sees over here to see this 3 now. That's again increased our minimum by 1. So I think that's going to tell us we have minimums now, doesn't it? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so these have to be bare minimums. We already know what's what going here, so let's put these in. This is 2, and this is 1. Okay, so we actually have quite a bit of information from that, which is interesting. What about indexing? What about this guy? We said this was maxed, right? So we're 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, so the 9 has to go in here, one of these two, and it can't go in those two, so this is a 9. What about you? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, we need to have a 9 in one of these two, and it can't be here, so it's here. The 9s now look this way. We can never put a 9 here, because you can never index that. So this is the 9. Can we keep going with this? Because we're actually starting to move here, which is interesting and good to see. What haven't we finished for in this guy? We said this was 9, so one of these is a 9. I'm going to mark it just so I have it there. I don't miss it. This guy, 2, 4, 5, 6. One of these two is a 6. That I don't know, and I don't know that I want to mark it, but maybe I will. I'll put it in. I'll have to remember what that is. What else do we have? So we've essentially done you, done you, done you. You we have not looked at yet. We'll get to that. You're done. We haven't finished or done you yet. We have to index you, and we have to find what you are, and we have to find out you are, what you are, and what you are. Okay. So we've got a log, I guess, of what we need to still look at. What about you? You seem to be the longest remaining one left. The bare minimums are what? This could be a 3. This could be a 1. And this could be a 2. So there's the minimum of 6 here. Plus 1 would be 7. Now we can't go up to 9 because we've put this index of the 9 over here. So the most this can ever get up to is, well, that's not true. That's not true. This could be 9 because this could index the same. It could index both of these. This is the best way to put it. So we actually have 2 layers of increasing that we could do. Oh, no, we don't. This can, well, yeah, we still do here. This can only be a 1 because we can't ever go to a 5 here. So this is 1. Now we're still going to have 2 layers of additions that we could put in here. Since these are only 2, the bare minimum is 5. We could go up to 7. Maybe there's more in here that I was thinking of. Because we have 2. We can add 7 more if we want to. We can't ever do 6, 1. So, okay, that is correct. This is where the limit is. The most either one could get to would be a 5. This one can't be a 5 because the bare minimum here is a 3. Okay. Just had to talk that out to make sure I had it correct. Now, that doesn't rule out whether or not these could equal 7, 8, or 9 yet. What else can we do? What about this guy? Because we have 1, 2, and 3 looking at it. So the bare minimum this can be is 4. Again, the bare minimum here could be 3 because of the 1 and 2 looking at it. So we're up to 8 already. So we have a single increase possibility. So we could do 3 or 4. Okay. I'm wondering if these, or when this is going to come into play here. Because we've essentially reduced the possibility from 1, 2, and 3. It can't be 9 either. So we're looking at between the 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 situation. But I'm sure that will get squeezed down here at some point. What else? Maybe this guy or this guy. Let's look at this one first, I guess. This guy could be a 3. This could be a 4. So we're looking at a possibility of a 7. But in this case, we cannot go up to the 9 because we can't put a 9 in either of these two. So this is a single increase on this one. Okay. Again, kind of looking to put in our options here so that hopefully when we find out what all of them are, we end up with doubles or triples or what have you that are going to give us some more information. All right, let's look at this one. This is the longest one we have left over, I guess. This here could be a 3. Well, this could never be a 9, so I need to remove that. So that would break this guy from this arrow. this here could go as low as a 2. This again could be a 4. So we're looking. Oh, I don't know why I was in corner mode here, but that's okay. We are at 9. So that's what these have to be. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 2, 3 are minimums. That's now going to actually make get this thing sorted because we can't use a 4. So this is a 3 and a 5, which means it's an 8. So one of these is the 8. And can't quite finish this region, but that's okay. So whichever one of these is the 9 is going to index both of these. And I guess we're going to have to go down here and figure out what the possibilities of these two are, because those are the only things we have left over at the moment. So what can this be? Minimum of 4. What can this be? It'd actually be a minimum of 2. Let's look at Sudoku here real quick, because I haven't thought about it yet. And it looks like we're probably close to finishing some digits off here. Yeah, so we can put a 1 up here. I think that was the last one. What about the 2s? Yeah, so this is actually a 2, just by Sudoku. Let's continue on for a second here. This is a 3. Okay, so that's going to help. So that forces this to be a 4, this to be a 2. This can't be a 4. And was that it on 3s? Well, there's a 3 here. And there's going to have to be a 3 here. I think that's it for 3s. Yeah. What about 4s real quick? Let's just take a quick look. Actually, yes, we can put a 4 here. One of these has to be a 4. And that might be where we stop for the moment. I don't think we do anything more with 9s. Actually, we can. 9 can't go in any of these, and also can't go here because we know these are the same digit. So this is 9. So let's get rid of that. And this is a 9. And probably down to, yes, we have an X-wing of 9s here, which is going to tell us where the 9 goes in our box. So it can't go in any of there. It's because of the X-wing. So this is 9. There we go. Okay, so we got a lot of information from that. Now we can go back to what we were looking at. Again, this could be a minimum of 4. It only gets up to 6. So we could actually go up to 7 here. This one can't be in, okay, again, the same thing I saw up here, or wherever it was, this one couldn't be a 9. I just didn't think about it, but this can't be 9 because it's on an arrow. So these are 9 and 9. So our 9s are done. That's good. Now let's do our last, I think it's our last one of giving all the possibilities. This one could be a 4 at a minimum. This one could be a 4 at a minimum. So this value has to at least equal 8. We'll put the options 4 and 5 here. Now, we don't know that these two values are the same. This could be a 9 and index to this guy. This could be 2 4s and be an 8 and index to an 8, which would therefore then have to go over here. We don't quite know that at the moment. And I don't know that we have enough on the 4s to make any further notices. Well, actually we do. Now, oh, this is figured. This is a 4. Okay, so that does figure it out. This is 5. This has to be 4 now. So this is the 9 that indexes this one. This can't be a 5. But we still don't know exactly what this one is indexing. It could be a 6, it could be an 8, or it could be this 9. Okay. Now we said our 9s are done as well. Okay, so we've got to fill in the blanks now, essentially. It seems like we've got a ton of information taken care of now. We've got to figure out what we have left over. We've got the 1's done, the 2's done, the 3's done. The 4's we have done. This is a 4. It forces this to be a 4. Okay, good. Yeah, and this is a 4. Now, that's the final 4, which means we do have to index a 6, which means this is 6. And these two digits are going to have to be 7 and 8. Looks like we're to the point now where the Sudoku portion is going to really help us out here. So we said 1, 2, 3s, and 4s are all done. Can we do anything with 5? We can. This is 5. Anything else? One of these is a 5. Means one of these is. I guess I should mark them while we're here, just in case it gives us any information. We might be able to actually reduce this guy down to a couple of options at this point, because we know it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 9. So it's either 6, 7, or 8. And I'm wondering if maybe the coloring is going to tell us what, at the end of the day, this is. Because I can see that this has to be a blue. But that doesn't necessarily correlate down the line. But it could. What else can we do then? The 5s were the last place we looked, but there's not quite enough left there. There's really nothing left on our 6s. We know one of these is a 6, and therefore one of these is a 6. One of these would be a 6. Okay, we actually, no, we don't. Keep thinking I see things, and I don't really. I want to get rid of this 6, because that's going to confuse me now that we actually have some more markings going on. Now, we still know that one of these has to be a 6 to index this, but I don't want to have that crossover and then make a mistake and think it is something it isn't. Okay. So have we indexed everything? This one is. This one is. This one isn't. What about this guy? This has to have a 7 in one of these two. I want to mark these in like a grayish tone. We know which ones are still needing to have their index. This is 9, which can index to that one. This is 9, which can index to that one. This is 9 going this way, which indexes to this one. This is 9, which indexes to that one. This has to be an 8, which indexes into here. But let's just put it because we don't have the actual position yet. This is 6, which indexes here. This is 9, which indexes here. Okay. So really these 3 quads here are what we are trying to figure out to finalize this thing. And we're down to essentially 5, 6, 7s, and 8s to fill into the gaps here. So how do we do that? Again, we know we have to find a 6 somewhere in here. We have to find a 7 somewhere in here. We have to have an 8 up in here. This 5 must be one of these two. Therefore, this is our 5. One of these then must be a 5, but there's a 5 here. Okay, so we can put a 5 here. Okay, maybe this 5 was what we needed. One of these two must be a 5. I think that's about as far as we can take the 5s right now, isn't it? It does appear so. What else do we need to put in here? 6s and 8s. We can't really rule out much. We know the 6 doesn't go here. We don't have anything on our 8s yet to actually do anything, other than the fact that the 8's up here. This digit is either 6 or 7. I think I might just need to start putting in some options here to try to figure out the last few bits of this thing. These are all from 6, 7, and 8. This can't be 7. This is 7 or 8. Yeah. Okay, let's go look at our blue again. And I'm actually going to change this color, I think, to a light gray so I can still see the arrow better. What about our blues? Can we do anything with them? We know this has to be blue, which means one of these two is blue because the options are 6, 7, 8. This can't be blue, so one of these two must be. I was hoping this would get a little bit better traction here. I don't see how we can continue it. All right, where's the little sting at the end here so that we can get this thing figured out? I think we just need like one more 5, 6, 7, or 8 in here, and that'll open up the entire puzzle. What about where these guys interact with each other? We know there has to be a 6 in one of these two. Does that mean this can't ever be a 6? Right? Because 2, 4, 5, 6. So yes, one of these must be 6. If one of these must be 6, this cannot be. This is 8. Hopefully that 8 will now propagate through here. We know the 8 had to go up here already. These have to be from 5, 6, and 7. This one couldn't be the 7. Yeah, so we have to have two different values in these 3 digits. One of them must be the 7 to correlate to this guy. One of them must be the 6 to correlate to this guy. How else can we use that? Tell us what we need. Come on now. Let's see. What is this? Oh, these can't be 6s because of this. Let's get rid of 6. So this is no longer possible. So this is. We now know that this is one of those two. So this is 7 or 8. So we get a 7, 8 pair, which means this is 6, which means this is 6. That's going to give us our 7 and our 6. And 6 goes up here, 8 goes up here, 7 goes here. This is a given digit now of 8. So therefore, our blues are all 7s. Good. That's going to give us this 6. These are going to both be 8s. This can't be a 7 anymore, so this one is. Get rid of those. And now we just need to finish off this grid. So this has to be 8. These are what? So let's look at here first. This has to be a 5, which gives us a 5 over here. This has to be an 8. This has to be a 6. These two have to be from 6 and 8, and we have an 8, so we get 6, we get 8, we get 5 and 6, we get 5 here, and we get a 7 here. Hey, you solved the puzzle. Solution is correct. So that was a lot of fun. I thought that, well, I mean, 35 minutes isn't necessarily a fast solve, but not knowing necessarily what how these things interact together, I thought that might take me a little bit more time than it did, but luckily it didn't. So anyway, that was a great puzzle. Definitely something that I've not worked with before, but I think it works really well, where you can create these quads, little killer quads, and not give any actual digits or clues in terms of values, and still have it all work out. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that one. Said I certainly did. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.